2016, the Central Valley girls basketball team took center stage, winning a state tournament with an undefeated season. The team had 8 underclassmen on it, so we expected a lot of success to come for another couple of years. But no one could have predicted what was about to happen with this team and with head coach Freddie Rehkow's youngest son. I've gotten to know the Rehkow family for more than a year now, and in this story, I'll show you multiple interviews, with the first one dating all the way back to early 2017. This is Cam's Revival, the Central Valley redemption story.
This is Central Valley with its championship back in 2016. And this is almost the same group of girls 2 years later. 2 titles, 2 vastly different ways of getting there.
I think for our girls, we always use the saying they were too young to know any better.
The 2018 win for Freddie Rehkow's group brought more substance to a trophy that looks exactly the same. The love is stronger in these hugs because they've struggled. Because he's struggled.
Through adversity, we learn a lot of things.
The Bears are 81-1 in 3 years. And while that one loss taught them humility, it's the loss they didn't suffer which gave them strength.
Well, last year, if we're being upfront, those girls probably helped save his life.
Central Valley's 2016 trip to Tacoma went exactly as planned on the court. 3 wins, 1 state championship.
I love these kids, man. They're amazing.
As for the Rehkow family behind the scenes, the travel took its toll on their youngest child, Cameron.
There was just a couple of those little precursors that, kind of tipped us off as something wasn't quite right.
The 10-year-old was struggling, continuously exhausted on a day-to-day basis.
He was just kind of dragging behind, didn't have any energy. And we'd kind of noticed some bruising and stuff on his legs and knees.
Just a couple of weeks after CV's championship win, Freddie and his wife Kim brought Cam to the hospital on April 12th for some blood work.
Wednesday was the day, and I won't forget it. Get a phone call from Sacred Heart Children's Hospital saying that they needed us to bring Cameron down to the Children's Hospital as soon as possible.
We finally got back to see the doctors after about an hour of sitting, and that's when he showed us the x-rays and told me that I had leukemia, and that was probably the worst moment of my life. Just hearing that I was diagnosed.
Told us that he had acute lymphoblastic leukemia. And that was the beginning of it.
Cam would now begin to fight for his life.
Our world stopped. State championship, memory. Sports, memory. Full focus became on him.
The 29-day induction stage would begin immediately to try and kill the leukemic cells in the blood and bone marrow. Cam responded to chemo favorably and was able to move on to the next stage of treatment.
The first miracle was he was alive. The second one was that he wasn't going to have radiation.
But despite the good news, Cam, along with his family, recognized this was still just the beginning of a long road to recovery.
It'll be one of the hardest things ever.
Initially, they thought we'd be 10 to 14 days in the hospital over this 8 or 9 months. And with all the side effects that Cameron has had, we've spent about 75 nights in the hospital.
Kim had to leave her job as a dental hygienist. Her sole responsibility was now to take care of Cameron.
I could have never dreamt this. I could have never dreamt this. I could have never dreamt what having a child with cancer would be like.
Just knowing that other people, other kids, they don't have cancer and their lives, for me, that seems perfect.
When a member of your family's diagnosed, the whole family's diagnosed.
That was clearly evident for Freddie, Kim, and their 3 other boys, Ryan, Austin, and Landon. But family extended beyond the Rehkow household.
Bears on 2. 1, 2. Bears for Cam.
Regardless of how tough and how strong we think we are, everybody needs somebody.
The Central Valley girls basketball team stepped up and was ready to help their coach entering the upcoming season.
Every single week, that is one thing I always look forward to.
I don't know if they know how much they mean to him, but I do, and she does.
After an undefeated championship year, The girls wanted Cam on the bench whenever he was healthy enough to sit there. The girls made personalized handshakes with him. The team also dedicated the year to their coach's son.
The fact that they're, saying it for him, I think is their way of saying it for me too, to provide me strength that says, we know what you're going through, we've got you.
Cam couldn't make every game. His constant bouts of illness and never-ending appointments not only restricted him from getting to the bench, but he couldn't even attend school for the entire year.
There were months where I felt like we didn't know where Cameron went. We didn't know. He was gone for a while, and it was just the way he was coping with things and trying to deal with things.
But on those handful of occasions, Cam made it to the gym. The lovable prankster his parents know and love would come back, and with a huge smile.
They were playing for me, and that really makes me want to get better, so I'm able to do stuff with them.
Seeing him at the basketball games, getting to interact with the girls and the coaches on the bench.
Just basketball you have lets you hit bricks easier.
And we start to see Cameron come back.
With Cam in their hearts, the girls marched on to another undefeated regular season. Central Valley was the clear favorite to repeat as champions, and for the first time since his diagnosis, Cam would leave Spokane, still aching, and make the trip to Tacoma to watch his favorite team win another title.
I think the pinnacle of all this would be is if we could take care of business and let him hold the gold ball. To me, highlight of the year. Highlight of the year, hands down.
Not every story finishes with that storybook finish.
A team that was ranked 7th in the country, a program that was on a 52-game winning streak, was shocked in the 4A state quarterfinals. Bellarmine Prep 56, Central Valley 55.
Perfect world, perfect finish. We win it all. Cam's on top of the world, our girls are on top of the world, I'm on top of the world. But I think sometimes there's a greater plan.
Undeterred from defeat, the Bears got back to work.
We want to put another plaque up on the wall. We want to be state champions this year.
With Cam improving in his treatments, he earned the role of team statistician for the upcoming season.
Just knowing that they're inviting me onto the bench, just wanting me to come sit with them or whatever, makes me feel really good.
It was officially time to leave 2017 in the past and progress forward into the future together.
1, 2, 3, defense.
The girls last year, they closed everything, for Cam. This year, we're not going to do it for Cam. They got to do it for themselves. Last year, for my family and for Cam, it was awesome. Now it's time for, Cam to cheer for them.
Adversity quickly turned into advocacy efforts for Freddie and his team. In late December, CV held its first Cam Jam Clash for Cancer tournament featuring the best teams in Washington.
And this is going to be the equivalent of a state tournament right here in this gym.
The Bears breezed by its competitors, and beyond preparing for a postseason run, the tournament raised $6,000 for the Anna Schindler Foundation for Childhood Cancer, as well as the Central Valley Invest Ed Fund.
Getting people to be more aware that cancer is a big thing. I just love knowing that people come out to support kids with cancer.
One of the teams Central Valley played in that tournament was Woodinville. The Bears won that game by 17 points. These two would square off once again in Tacoma with a state championship on the line. Central Valley won by 31 points.
I would say sometimes, it wasn't about redemption, but it was in a sense.
The Bears took home the hardware for its second time in 3 years and did so in dominating fashion, winning every single game by double-digit points.
Sometimes, it's through that adversity that you become stronger, and I really believe that's kind of what happened with this group.
Unmatched strength, one long-awaited moment.
To come together with him and embrace him, that was where my tears came from, because to me, that was finally to be able to experience that pure joy and not have, you know, him being sick at the, you know, that was pretty special.
The bridge from one title to the next is finally complete. 2 championships, 2 vastly different ways of getting there.
Hopefully these girls that have been through this journey with us will realize that it is a game. Love the game, but it's not everything. You can do amazing things when you're surrounded by amazing people.
And we are now very fortunate enough to have Kim and Cam join us. Freddie would have loved to have been here, but Freddie's in San Diego right now.
Yes.
Kim and Cam just saw that story for the first time as well. And I do want to mention a few nuts and bolts. First off, Cam is now 12, doing very well. He will still be getting treatment up until August 1st, 2019,
Correct.
right? That's how long the maintenance phase will be. And then also on that team from 2016 to 2018, 7 girls were there from start to finish throughout that journey.
Yes.
And something I wasn't able to touch on in that story is the outpouring of support, even beyond the girls' basketball team. How much support does it take when a family is impacted with a child going through cancer?
Well, a lot. And I apologize for being emotional, but that was pretty awesome. We have been surrounded by support from the Spokane community. Lots of foundations and resources that we have right here at home. And we couldn't be more grateful to be in a place like this, going through something like that.
And we actually have a few of the funds, if we can put them on the screen, guys, in the back. The Anna Schindler Foundation, which is one that I mentioned. We also have the American Childhood Cancer Organization, the Inland Northwest, very local here, and also the Ripon Foundation. And Cam, just going through this journey, what is something that you've learned throughout this process?
Oh man, a lot. I never thought I would have had to go through something like this, but I think it made me a better person. Just being able to feel what some other kids feel. I mean, I think going through it helped me realize that, oh, there's a lot of people who go through stuff like this. And it's really hard, but eventually it's definitely going to make me stronger. It's going to make me more perseverant through everything that I do.
Yeah, and then going forward, I know that I talked with you. What do you want to do in the future? I know that professionally this kind of changed your goals of maybe when you get older, what you want to do for other people.
Yeah, for career, I'd really, my oncologist, super nice to me and my mom. That's kind of a profession I want to pursue, just to be able to help people who have gone through stuff like me. I feel like that'd be really cool because at the hospital they have a board of just kids and like what's about them. And so a lot of things that I see is that they have a question for your career before your treatment and your career after. And one thing that I see most of all is just people who help people. Like a lot of people want to become doctors, firefighters, whatever they can do to help anybody else. And I think that's really cool because they've gone through something and there's been a lot of support from the nurses at the hospital who help them through every stage. And I feel like that really inspires me because they know what they've been through and they want to help people just like that.
And there is so much more that I want to talk with both of you. We are going to head to Facebook. You can head to the KREM 2 Facebook page. Kim and Cam will join me and we will talk about a lot of topics, especially advocacy efforts. Again, you can head to creme.com, you can rewatch a story, donate, do whatever you like. Join us on the Facebook page, ask questions. We'd love to hear from you. But we're going to head to a commercial break right now. Thank you.